Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars Season 2. And a match today between Team Baguette from France and mYinsanity. It will be interesting. Our first clan war, of course, happened a couple of days ago, where we saw a fairly one-sided affair between Prime and Flash Wolves. This time around, we're hoping for something a little bit more balanced. We've got a lot of Protoss versus Zerg today. Let's take a look at the lineup here. This is what we're looking at right now. We had a quick swap around. The Crazy Clash match will, in fact, be on second instead of first because currently DNS is not available. So we've got Petit Drogo going up against Patreus on Peninsula, followed by DNS versus Winter. No, not that Winter, the other Winter. Psionic taking on Zervas in Legacy of the Void Beta, followed by Lilbo taking on Serral on Engines of War. After that, our 2v2, assuming it gets that far, will take place on Ice Realm for the first time, with Marine Lord and Lilbo teaming up against Raynor and Narcotic. And our final game will be Marine Lord versus Raynor on ORICHALCUM, with an ace match occurring on Neo Emerald Plaza, assuming, again, that we get that far. It should be pretty good, I think. Fairly evenly matched. Definitely not the top players from mYinsanity. We're not seeing Rain come out, we're not seeing Jackchi come out, but still a decent enough lineup nonetheless. A very strong Zerg lineup in particular. So we actually have no mirrors today whatsoever. So if you like PvZ, well, you're in for a treat, because we've got plenty of that. Patreus and Petit Drogo are both ready to rock and roll. So as far as I'm concerned, I am as well. We're going to start the countdown, and we're going to jump right in here on Peninsula. And I'll show you a quick map intro to demonstrate exactly what is going on with this particular map, because it is a little bit weird. Here we go. There you go, look folks, Peninsula, which is actually guarded by Lord Jaraxxus for no apparent reason. Welcome to Peninsula. I believe this is our first outing on this particular map. This is a very weird map, because you can immediately see why that is. It has hybrid mineral fields. All the timings on this map are going to be completely out of whack. Welcome to Petit Drogo. He is in the red trunks, and he is representing France and Team Baguette as Protoss to the southwest, versus his opponent to the northeast position in the yellow trunks playing Zerg. It is mYinsanity Patreus. How on earth the timing is going to work on this map? Because you'll notice that all the mineral fields are hybrids. There's 3 blues and 3 golds. So everything is up in flux. And that's not the only thing that's in flux. Getting across this map is difficult. As you'll notice, a lot of the paths are blocked off by almost depleted mineral fields. So they're a little bit difficult to get across, but not impossible. Some of the mineral fields have walkable eggs. As you can see, you can actually mineral walk right through them with a worker. So it's possible to scout, it's possible to proxy. Let's have a look at the income. Look at that. That is way higher than usual. As you can see, both of our players decided to saturate the golds pretty much immediately so they can earn just a little bit faster. So everything's accelerated this time around. Oh my god, Patreus! Crazy. Patreus is going for his first expansion right in the middle, which is wild. And I assume he's then going to use that probably to mine out these areas right here. This is going to be very cool. All right. Second game will be on Crazy Clash. I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing more Crazy Clash. They'll get it. And Patreus runs off with the gold mineral. And we're going to see a similar move here from Petit Drogo, who is looking to try and make his way through the center. He can make his way through this egg. This one egg is mineral walkable. Everything else you've got to mine through. So you can't get units through there yet. But you can get other things. So he currently has not seen the proxy hatchery in the center of the map. He's going to scout. He's going to see, well, hang on a minute. You don't have an expansion. What on earth is going on here? What are you playing at? He's going to scout. He's going to see nothing in base outside of a very late spawning pool. So he knows there's a hatchery somewhere, because otherwise that pool would not be that late. The question is, where is the hatchery? And scouting is going to happen. He's probably going to find it, but not before the hatchery actually completes. And this is going to allow Patreus to actually pour on some aggression quite early on. He'll also be able to, of course, take his natural later. There's the scout. He sees exactly where it is now. Now, currently, of course, Petit Drogo does have a Nexus down pretty early. It expanded almost immediately, which is probably the right way to go. There really is not a lot of room for early game aggression on this map, but this is what Patreus is doing. He's going to mine out this mineral field so that he can attack early. Of course, if he didn't want to attack early, then the chances are he wouldn't mine out the mineral field anywhere as quickly as he is. But he's going to have a bit of a nibble, and he's going to see what's going on. Roach Warren coming down immediately, so Betrayus may attempt to get a little bit of early Roach action going on against a fairly defensive Protoss, who has now scouted that, and he's got to be saying to himself, look, there's no way Betrayus isn't going to attack me in some way, so I've got to be ready for that. But so far, he's only sitting on 2 Zealots. He's going to collapse this rock tower right here, so he can block off this entrance, but there are still places to go. I mean, it's possible to mine through here, for instance. He's going to wall off here. I don't know if Betrayus will actually attempt a long-distance mine this path, because that will mean that wall off is ineffective, and will give him another opportunity. Down goes the rock tower, which is going to block off this area here, but this area is still very much workable. And has he made his way through? Yes, he's already managed to mine out the gap here, so he can immediately go to attack. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's got 7 roaches and some lings on the way. A forge is going down. There's no cannon. He's got a double zealot wall-off, which is nowhere near enough. We've got air weapons being researched. Hang on a minute. Is he researching air weapons without a Stargate? Oh, there we go. So we might see a Void Ray build coming out here. Double Stargate. Almost certainly either Mass Phoenix or possibly some Void Rays. But here's the problem. Betrayus is already here. He's ready to knock on the door. He's got roaches, and he's going to kill those zealots almost immediately. Cannon's going down, but it's not going to be done in time. Lings are coming through as well. 1 zealot is down. Second one actually gets surrounded. The wall-off wasn't good enough, and now Betrayus is going to bust right into Petit Drogo's base. And this is going to do a lot of economic damage. The cannon is down, so eventually these guys will get cleaned up, but as the usual cast, the question is, at what cost? The Stargate was too late. There's no Void Ray out. There's basically no defense here whatsoever outside of this 1 photon cannon, which will eventually kill all of the roaches, but not without 13 probes going down. That's a lot. Now, bear in mind, Betrayus didn't actually build that many drones, and you don't have to, because you've got half gold minerals here. So this timing from Betrayus is very strange, and was unexpected, certainly for Petit Drogo, who is looking to try and get this Void Ray out, and not lose all of his probes. He's trying to wall off. He's got another pylon out, so he should be okay. And he'll eventually be able to kill off what remains of this. And he actually hasn't seen the Stargate, so the Void Ray is going to go up and kill all of the roaches. And it will be 21 drones versus 14 probes, which is not an insurmountable number. All these roaches are going to die. The pylon may go down here. It is... No, looks like it's not going to. And there's a lot of damage going in at the front, but this Void Ray and the Mothership Core should be able to clear it up without too much of a problem. So, right now, Petit Drogo is behind, but he's not terribly behind. And as you can see, Betrayus is not actually prepared for Void Rays. The wall is broken, but there should be another Void Ray on the way fairly soon once he's got the supply for it. And actually, there's no energy for Photon Overcharge, so the second wave of roaches is smashing its way through here. And Petit Drogo is now being surrounded, and this is going to be it. He might have had a chance to survive, maybe if he got a second Void Ray out, but that's not going to happen. GG. And Betrayus takes the first game in this Best of 7 Clan Wars series with a very interesting 2-base Roach Rush build. There you go. Very cool. Well, it's the first time we've seen that map played out, and as you can see, the timings are completely out of whack. So I am interested to see how exactly it works out. That's a little bit loud, isn't it? There we go. There's a lot of really crazy rushes you can do. I don't think you're safe doing what Drogo actually did, which is to go straight for the expansion. It sounds safe in theory, but Betrayus came up with a move that was clearly tailored to that map, which is build the hatchery right next to the barrier, then mine that barrier out, and then rush with roaches and lings. It did the job. And those Stargates were too late. I think if he hadn't gone for the air weapon upgrade and he got an earlier Stargate, he would have been able to hold that. The problem is he didn't. He got greedy. He went for double Stargate, which didn't do anything. He was only able to build a single Void Ray. And the Roach Rush and Ling Rush caught him completely off guard. Huh. Well, I'm intrigued to see that map actually played out a little bit more in future. It'll be interesting to see how it actually works out. Alright, folks. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to move on to the next map, which will be Crazy Clash. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to seeing that. We're going to see a Protoss versus Zerg again. It's going to be DNS taking on Winter on Crazy Clash. It's going to be a little bit strange, to say the least. I'm hoping that match actually ends up being great. I guess we'll find out after the break. You're watching SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the next match. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 2 of SHOUTCraft Clan Wars between Team Baguette and mYinsanity, with mYinsanity currently leading one game in this best of 7 Pro League format. Introducing the team for Baguette, or the player for Team Baguette. Baguette, yes, Baguette. I'm getting that pronunciation right, yes, it is Baguette. He plays for team against all authorities, representing the country of France, as well as the team of Baguette. He is DNS. Versus his opponent to the north position of Crazy Clash in the purple trunks are playing Zerg, who has obviously practiced this map and didn't lose an Overlord to the slayer of badly rallied Overlords. It is the one and only Winter. And he is not Winter Starcraft, not the streamer, nope. There is actually a pro gamer called Winter as well, and he is on Team mYinsanity. He's actually part of the mYinsanity Academy. Alright, Winter looking to... What? Is he going for an expansion outside of the base? There's some interesting stuff going on here, actually. Is he going to go and try and... I think he might actually try and ninja the gold minerals. That would be a bit unexpected. But DNS is scouting the same way, though. This could be a little bit interesting. So, Crazy Clash has a number of very strange features. A lot of gold bases. It also has a healing shrine right here. Everything gets healed by this. And this entire forest is a maze. It's line of sight blocking. So it's actually very easy to hide an expansion. And Winter has unfortunately discovered that there are actually rocks blocking this gold mineral patch, and that's going to take quite some time to get through. Not impossible, though. Thankfully, they only have one armor, but I'd have maybe sent 2 drones for that. It's going to take a while to expand there. He's getting his pool out first, though, and he's got his gas, so he can put on a little bit of pressure. In the meantime, we're seeing DNS with the gateway first, nice and sensible. It looks like he's going to attempt a wall off, which is very difficult here, because it's just absolutely huge in terms of the size of the ramp. So he'll probably just place some buildings down to defend his main ramp, and then just a few to maybe create a wall off. We'll see. I mean, walling off this entire area was basically impossible, so it's not something you can really do. But he's working his way through. Winter is looking to take... He's acting like either I have a proxy base or I'm playing some kind of one-base craziness, and it's going to take him a couple of minutes to actually work his way through this rock. I'm not entirely sure this is the best plan. I personally would have sent, I don't know, maybe gone for an earlier pool and attacked it then. Or maybe sent a second drone. I think now Winter's saying, hey, I'm going to expand here. But he's going to be able to take this ninja expansion down to the bottom. So it might work. Oh, he's faking it. Look at that. Winter's like saying, oh, I'm going to go expand. I'm going to show you my drone. And then immediately, the Lings are going to chase this probe down. I hope he doesn't spot it. There's no chance. No way. I mean, you can't see through this. Literally. This is the line of sight that Winter currently has here. As you can see, you cannot see through this forest. So there's no way this is getting scouted in a million years. And the Lings come out to help him out, and Winter's now going to go into his expansion on the gold base at the bottom of the map. Because why the hell not? In the meantime, DNS is playing one base style right now. He's actually getting a second gateway. He's getting his warp gate out pretty quickly. He's looking to apply some pressure here, I think. He doesn't have another base. He doesn't have a lot to defend with either. He's got his mothership core, but the Speedlings are about to make their way into the base. This is a nice little sim city he's got set up down the bottom here. Not going to take too much damage there, but unfortunately, Lings can run around it. So, I don't know if he's going to get much done. Looks like the Zealots have done a good job warding that off, but there's more Lings on the way. So he might make his way into the minimal line, assuming he doesn't lose too much to this mothership core, which currently he has not. And this gold base down the bottom is looking like it's going to happen. And this is going to be a one-base Stargate along with gateways. So it looks like it'll be like maybe a one-base Void Ray push. I mean, he can't send... You've got to bear in mind that you can't send oracles over here. You will die. You will get shot down by these missile turrets. So there's no way he can send an oracle. It looks like it'll probably be a Void Ray push. Void Ray with some gateway units. Void Ray sentry. It can work. It gets scouted. Winter managed to avenge... That Overlord is a hard worker. Bear in mind, you can't rally Overlords across this map because they die. So actually getting an Overlord over there takes quite a bit of work. I'm intrigued to see how this goes. This is very, very weird. Now he's going to expand. He's going for the Oracle. Well, I guess you can fly around the map. You'd have to go all the way around. I wonder if he'll accidentally scout the gold base. That would be very, very strange if he did. It is possible. So much for the all-in. Looks like that's not actually going to happen. He's decided he's going to expand. It was very weird seeing 2 warp gates, Stargate, and then Nexus. It indicated that he wanted to get aggressive, but it wasn't happening. Lynx get a little bit of an opportunity to do a little bit of damage here, but it's a bit risky. Gets us around, tries to kill the sentry, gets the sentry, and loses a few Lynx for it. That's worth. That's definitely worth, as far as I'm concerned. There's a lot of gas there. Couple more gateways coming down. So DNS still has the option to apply pressure, and this Oracle's just going to fly right across the map, and hopefully not into those missile turrets. So, both of these guys have obviously practiced this. He's going to be very confused when he sees there's no expansion there. Very confused indeed. Look at the income right now. Oh my god, Winter's income is just huge. Absolutely massive. Getting a great mine out on this full gold base here. And tell me where is the Oracle? He's going right into where he thinks the expansion is, and surprise, there's no expansion there whatsoever. He got bamboozled, flummoxed. And now some damage will come in, but there is a queen to ward this off and a spore crawler, so he's only going to get a couple of drones here and there. Might get a third, maybe a fourth, but no, he's going to get warded off now. And this Oracle hasn't really done much, and I'm very concerned now for DNS, because Winter has set up this amazing base down the bottom that has been completely unscouted. He's going to have to look down there. I think he's going to realize now, but the thing is, there's already a queen, and this Oracle's on half HP. So he doesn't, if he does know, he hasn't indicated that he does, and he's not going to be able to get anything done anyway at the best of times. But he will be able to scout and maybe then start to apply pressure to that area. So Winter's going to have to look out and maybe get some units to defend that base. He finds the base. The queen is there. A few drones will die, certainly, but definitely not enough to make up for the economic disparity between the two players right now. And DNS's Oracle is driven off once again. It's got 9 drone kills so far, so not too bad. But there's going to be mutalisks coming in, a lot of them. A lot of mutas, I would imagine. He's mined a decent amount of gas. He's mining, obviously, a lot of minerals from here. He has the spore crawler up. A lot of the drones did die, though. This, I just want to point out, by the way, if you hadn't already noticed, this base has 4 gas. This is like the ultimate base. If you grab this, he is playing 2 base muta on 6 gas. That's supposed to be impossible. But that's not, we don't do impossible here on Clan Wars. No, no, no. This is a very, very wild map. DNS is going to get aggressive, though, which is very sensible. The Overlord is able to spot through here, which is very useful. Because, of course, there's a line of sight blocking for us. But Winter's going to need units over here. I think with the amount of mutas he's got, he should be okay. Sentries don't do a lot of damage. He might be able to fend this off, but the next warping is what I'm worried about. The Stalker's on the way here. Mutas are moving in, and if this gold base goes down, Winter's advantage is suddenly going to rapidly evaporate. He was relying on secrecy, and the Oracle finally did scout it. These sentries are enough to scare these mutalisks away, especially with the Guardian Shield and the Stalker support coming in. And that hallucinated Phoenix goes down. The drone's pulled off the line here. We need to see more units from Winter. Otherwise, throwing this back is going to be difficult. He gets another sentry. This is a very expensive investment here from DNS, but every mutalisk lost is another 100 gas. So this base is under threat here. Spore Crawler taking fire. Looks like we might see a Zealot go down. More mutalisks on the way. 9 available now, but a lot have taken damage. 1 more gets torn from the sky. And this gold base under a lot of threat. 17 drones killed. More warpins coming in. It's 50 probes versus 23 drones now. And Winter's strategy was, it needed like 1 minute more to come to fruition, and he didn't have the units to defend. He got greedy, and now he's taking damage, and down goes his main, I'd say that's his main base. I mean, that's a 4 gas gold mineral base. It's just nuts. You don't do it. The healing shrine, by the way, is keeping the Overlord alive as it runs away, which is hilarious. Yes, it survives thanks to the healing shrine. The mutalisks now go in for a counterattack, and there's no anti-air. Lots of damage is going to be inflicted here, but I wonder at what cost. It's going to take a while for this to get back. The Mothership core is dead, so no recall is available. Lings are doing damage here as well, chasing down the Stalkers. The Mutalisks are jumping on top here, but there's a Stargate. There's the Phoenixes, and GG. Team Baguette puts 1 on the board. Really cool strategy from Winter, but it's not quite refined. It's a really interesting idea, isn't it, when you think about it? It's a 2-base Mutalisk with 6 gas, which really shouldn't work, but obviously it could. If he'd managed to keep that base secret, maybe 1 more, or maybe put a couple of spine crawlers down and not been so greedy, I think he would have got away with that, and that would have actually worked. But it was a neat idea nonetheless, you've got to say. That was really interesting. Well, congratulations to Baguette. They put 1 on the board. We're not going to see a whitewash today. And our next map is going to be pretty damn fun as well, because it's on Legacy of the Void Beta. Psionic will take on Zervas on Coda in Legacy of the Void Beta. We're going to switch over servers, and we will be right back with yet more SHOUTCraft Clan Wars right here on MLG TV. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTCraft Clan Wars right here on MLG TV. This is the current scoreline right now. We have Betrayers picking up the first map on Peninsula, followed by DNS for Team Baguette with Crazy Clash. We're now switching on over to Legacy of the Void Beta, where Zervas will be taking on Psionic in a Zerg versus Protoss on Coda. We like to keep the variety going on SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. No map will be the same. We've already seen 2 wild games, and Legacy of the Void Beta, of course, has some very wild stuff going on in it. Psionic playing Protoss, Zervas playing Zerg. And Zerg, of course, have had a massive, massive set of changes. So I'm interested to see exactly how Zervas decides to tackle this one. The Swarm Host patch just went in today, and of course Legacy of the Void reflects that as well. But there are all sorts of things that we could see from the Protoss player as well. The use of Disruptors to break up large Roach and Ravager death balls, and of course the use of Adepts for early game harassment. And 12 probe start. I love that. It means the game gets going nice and quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coda in the Legacy of the Void beta. And this is Against All Authority Psionic, representing Team Baguette. He is in the blue trunks and he is playing Protoss. Versus his opponent to the east position of Coda. In the pink trunks, representing mYinsanity, he is Zervas. And that is that Fabio? It looks like Fabio, but it is quite... I believe it is Fabio, yes. That appears to be Fabio. Alright, good. Just checking. Just wanted to make absolutely sure I wasn't getting that wrong. Representing Team Fabio, we have Zervas. How wonderful for them. Alright then. Let's see how this plays out. We've got a double gas opening here from Psionic, not entirely out of the ordinary. Actually, it is kind of out of the ordinary, because I was expecting an early game expand here from the Protoss. But he's not doing that. He's getting Gateway followed by double gas and another pylon before he even considers an expansion. So it looks like he may wish to get a little bit tech-heavy quite early on. Get a little bit aggressive. We'll see what happens. Coda, of course, a fairly standard map. You can actually now find it in the map pool for Heart of the Swarm as well as the Legacy of the Void right now. Of course, the Legacy of the Void version has these reduced mineral patches. So half of the mineral patches available are only half the size of these ones. You see, this has 1,340 remaining. This one actually only has 585. This means the base is going to mine out a lot faster. This means that you're going to have to take more bases, expand more, and you've got, hopefully, more battles all the way over the map. At least that's the general idea. Psionic with the quick scout, so he knows what's coming. He knows that his opponent's got a late spawning pool. He does not know if there's a third base down yet. He can go and have a look for that. Still no expand from Psionic. He's actually going Cyber Core before expansion. Zealot and Mothership Core coming out here. I mean, it almost makes me think he was worried about an early rush, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, he's getting a lot of tech. No Warp Gate as of yet. He's got the numbers for it. Why is he not getting Warp Gate? What is his plan? Is he going straight for Stargate? Is he going to tech up? Is he go? I think it looks like he actually wants to save up and go for an expand, and then he'll get Warp Gate. I'm not 100% sure kind of what the point of that was and what he intends to get, because what does it allow him to get earlier? Well, yeah, it gets him a lot of gas, so I suppose he can bring sentries into play, but he only has one gateway. He hasn't started Warp Gate tech early, and there's no Stargate down. So any kind of early game tech shenanigans that I was expecting to happen kind of aren't going to. But he is banking now 200 gas, so if he wants to do something tech-orientated, he can do it. It doesn't really matter too much that his expansion's a bit late, but the thing is, the Zerg has already kind of started the third base now. And he doesn't really have too many aggressive options. He can poke, and that's exactly what he's going to do. A really nice move there, actually. He uses the Mothership Core to scout out and give vision to the Stalker, which enables the Stalker to actually kill off the Overlord that was heading in that direction. So currently, we actually have a very blind Zerg player. He knows about the expansion, but that's all he knows about. He doesn't know what's in his opponent's base. He doesn't know when the gas was taken. He doesn't know what tech is occurring. And we've got Twilight Council coming down along with 2 more gateways. I mean, we might see a Blink Stalker play here, but I'd maybe expect something like a Forge with that for upgrades. So we may see Dark Templar. That's a possibility. He may also be going for an Adept play. So with the, if I recall correctly, and I hope I'm not wrong about this, the Twilight Council unlocks a particular tech, which allows your Adept shots to bounce. It's called Shockwave, but he is going to go for Blink. And here we go, Lings on the way. They're going to really get nothing done here. They might find a probe, and they do. They're going to get that killed. So, rest in pieces. But outside of that, he's going to get second probe, but really, there's not much those Lings can do. They can pile on and try to break that, but that's not going to happen. There's a Mothership Core there, so they get 2 probes and get out without too much damage. Roach Warren on the way, so I expect to see maybe some Ravagers here from Zervas, or he may go for a tunneling strategy. As it stands, he has not upgraded to Lair Tech as of yet. There we go, there's the Lair Tech upgrade. But we're going to see Blink Stalker, which is... It's not as good against Ravagers as it is against Roaches, because Ravagers have extra range, and of course they also have their Acid Bile attack, which does a little bit of AoE damage. It's quite easy to dodge, but Blink Stalker is still pretty effective. You can also blink into the base and do all sorts of wild stuff there as well. So it might do the job here for our Protoss player, Psionic. But in the meantime, we are seeing Roaches and Lings being built up by Zervas. Could just be a kind of standard defensive force, but he's going to need those units one way or the other, because Psionic is going to attack him. Stalkers have been scouting, quite a few as well. So this should be a bit of a hint here. I like how actively Zervas is scouting, trying to figure out exactly what the composition of his opponent is. If his opponent goes Mass Stalker, Ravager might be an answer, but obviously you'd expect to see more Lings coming out. He's like, look, you've got 7 Stalkers. I think there's Blink behind that. And that would be what I would be thinking at that position. It's like, hey, look at how many Stalkers you've got. So this is the kind of position where we're going to see some tunneling, perhaps. Bear in mind that Roaches do have the ability to tunnel, but you do need to research Burrow. They have tunneling claws by default, so if you get Burrow, Roaches in Legacy of the Void can actually tunnel without an additional upgrade, but he is going to get Roach speed. Looks like he's going to try and mash Roaches against this, maybe throw some Ravagers in there as well. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work out. Obviously, Blink Stalkers trade pretty damn well with unupgraded Roaches, even with speed. He's getting a lot of Lings and trying to unlock some attack paths to try and make his way through here. This is not a complete Warlock, so he might be able to make that happen. But the Stalkers are now out on the field. Have you also noticed, by the way, what they've done with the minimap? It's actually kind of obnoxious. But we've got the first upgrade, the first engagement, in fact, coming in here. So we're going to see a bunch of Lings just slaughtered for free. And there are not quite enough Lings on the field to really deal with this many Blink Stalkers. And the Roaches are going to have to go right back home now. Thankfully, they got away without taking too much damage. We might see one Roach go down, but he should be able to pull back. And now he's got Ravagers on the way, and he's going to get a bunch of Zerglings as well. So these Stalkers are potentially at risk. Ravagers now in the mix, and we'll see if they decide to use their Acid Bile ability. But there's the blink away. The nice thing about Ravagers is they have that additional attack range. They have range 6. Oh, gets a Stalker out there. Doesn't get the Mothership Core, but is able to drive that away quite nicely. So versus a Roach, which has range 4, the Ravagers can kind of sit at the back and plink away, whereas Roaches, they kind of get into this big ball where they're not really able to attack anything. Zervas suddenly has a huge army out of basically nowhere. He's got 62 army supply against 28. This tech-heavy approach here by Psionic, well, he's getting a Disruptor. This Disruptor might help. Disruptors are hugely damaging to large balls of Roaches and Lings. They can obliterate them very easily. But Psionic is playing on borrowed time at the moment. If Zervas continues to play so defensively, then I think that we're going to see Psionic get away with this, especially if he gets multiple Disruptors out. And he is doing that. And they're very expensive gas-wise. These things are... But they can do so much damage. They can kill so many things. So it is certainly worthwhile, but I'm actually kind of surprised to not see Zervas attack. I think he just wants more Ravagers before he goes in here. A second Disruptor will be out by the time this attack hits here. It's hard to say who's going to end up winning it. I still think the Zerg player's got the edge, because it's 83 army supply to 32. But, of course, if he ends up bunching up, the Disruptors will kill absolutely everything. So, we will see what happens. I don't know, though. I don't think there's enough Disruptors, and I think Zervas should be able to split against this. The army supply is just too much in the favor of the Zerg player right now for Psionic to really pull this off. He's going for third base, which is going to be cancelled. There's no way this survives. And these Stalkers are going to die as well. And he doesn't have many Stalkers to play with. I mean, that was basically 30% of his Stalker force. That was a nice little bit of prediction there. I like that. Oh, he's activated his Disruptors. So, but he misses. He whiffs the Disruptors. Oh, Zervas had an opportunity. He could have grabbed both of those Disruptors and killed them. There's now a third Disruptor on the field, though. These are now recharging. These are 21-second recharges, but Zervas is pulling back. He is actually pulling back right now. He's not attacking. That's crazy. If Zervas had gone in there, I think he would have got that. But now there's the third Disruptor, and these Disruptors got a chance to recharge. I think the Protoss player might have a shot. Probably not a great shot, but a shot nonetheless. Zervas is playing surprisingly defensively. The third base isn't up, though, so bear this in mind. This base is almost mined out. This is how fast this stuff mines out in Legacy of the Void. So you have to bear in mind that if they don't get the third base up nice and quickly, then you're going to be in a lot of economic trouble. And the Zerg player's having loads of fun here. Third base down, full mining, no problems whatsoever, economic advantage, army advantage, map control advantage. Everything is going Zervas right now. Unless, of course, the Disruptors hit. This is the smallest, most powerful Protoss army you are ever going to see. Disruptors are coming in. Oh, lovely, lovely Acid Bile attacks here. He's going to have to dodge out. The Disruptors all whiff. Oh, no. That was awful. And they're not very fast either, and they're so expensive. If he can't activate his Purification Over, he's going to lose all his Disruptors. The Ravagers moving in. They pick off one. They're going to take a second. Can he get the other two Disruptors ready? It looks like no. And now they're activated. He's going right into the center. Can he actually get a hit? He does get a hit, but it's not enough. GG. And Zervas takes it. And the Protoss player getting a bit greedy, frankly, with that. A little bit greedy. mYinsanity picks up another win. Zervas with a nice move, and, well, Ravagers are pretty good. Disruptors are great, but they're not that great if you whiff them, and that's exactly what happened. Maybe putting them into, say, a warp prism would have helped there. But as soon as he saw the disruptors, he instantly backed off. The disruptors were activated too fast, and they ended up whiffing and hitting nothing. Unfortunate there for Psionic, but Zervas picks up the win here on Kodo in Legacy of the Void. We're going to switch right on back for our next map. It is going to be... Which map are we playing, actually? We're going to be playing on... Oh, Engines of War. And Lilbo's going to be playing as well, so that's going to be good. He's, of course, one of the best Protoss in Europe, so I'm interested to see what he has to offer. We will be right back with the next match here on SHOUTCraft Clan Wars. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the wrong setup. There we go. This is the right setup. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. I keep forgetting. I have to switch between Legacy of the Void and Heart of the Swarm. There we go. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Engines of War. And it's my pleasure to introduce you, replacing Serral, who is unfortunately involved in a prior engagement. So he has been replaced by Penguin, who is playing Zerg to the southwest of this map. Penguin assures me that he actually helped Serral come up with the map build for Engines of War. So... this should be fairly interesting, and I have a feeling that Lilbo is actually going to snag that cannon before that Overlord gets there. His opponent, of course, representing Team Baguette in the Blue Trunks, playing Protoss to the northeast, it is Lilbo. Of course, his main team being Millennium. Interesting. Lilbo is not actually trying to grab the cannon in the center. This is the sort of thing that you might want to do. It can actually be controlled by air units. This is something we might change, but we're going to get a little bit more data before we decide to do that. This looks to be a very, very sneaky possible cannon rush. Either that or just avoiding the cannon altogether. The cannon is now in Penguin's control. This thing has 50 range. It is ridiculous. So the last thing you want is to be hit by it. And Lilbo is going to be able to sneak in without that happening. And he's building a forge, so we may see cannons. Lilbo might be going for a cannon rush here. Although, I have a feeling Penguin will... he's sort of kind of be aware of that. It was very sneaky by Lilbo to do that. Yep, he is going to go for the cannons. And I think Penguin needs to go scout that pretty much immediately. He's walled him... hang on, did he just wall himself in? I think he might have just walled himself in, which would make it a little bit tricky for him to build cannons, unless... wow, that would be hilarious if that is actually the case. No, he can build one there. Oh, he can get out. There's a little gap there. All right. I was afraid he'd walled himself in there for a second, but he is going with the cannon rush. Now, unfortunately, having control of this main Draken cannon is not going to help when you're up against cannon. Are we going to see Proxy Hatch, actually, from Penguin? We will see Proxy Hatch as a response to this, with control of the Draken cannon. So, I'm not exactly sure how Penguin is supposed to fend this off. I think he's going to lose his main. He's going to have to move all of his units across, maybe to mine for the Proxy Hatchery. This is currently unscouted by Lilbo, incidentally. And it's going to take a wee while for these cannons to actually do anything. And this is a big investment from Lilbo as well. We've got 3 cannons, which it looks like they're all going to complete. And now Penguin's actually leaving, as you can see. Just waiting for that cannon to complete. And he might... oh, man. If he'd committed, he would have actually got that. There's a cancel on that cannon. But the thing is, he's left. He's mining from the bottom. The cannon isn't in range. And he's now going to take his drones all the way to the other side of the map and mine from Lilbo's natural. Because Clan Wars. And he also has the Draken cannon, meaning that any attempt for... if he's able to get a fight cannon around this area, the cannon basically has this range. It can go all the way from here and hit here. So if there's any fighting goes on here, the Zerg player is going to have an inherent advantage. So Penguin isn't actually out of this game yet. Lilbo's cannon rush has obviously had some effect, but this is a... oh my god, he mineral walks right in! He's attacking the main base. And he has a proxy hatchery right there. He could build spine crawlers, he can do all sorts of things. The Lings managed to do damage. Great micro by Lilbo, incidentally. Look at that. Managing to save quite a few probes, but damage is being done here. Penguin moves away, and the cannon is now up, so Penguin has to back away. This has already turned crazy, as you can probably imagine. He's still mighty. The cannons aren't doing anything. This is really cute. And now Penguin has 3 drones in the main base, which are doing absolutely nothing, which is a little bit weird. He's going to try and harass, by the looks of it, with them. He gets surrounded. Lilbo picks off 1. Currently, it is 12 drones versus 15 probes. It's I mean, it's a base and a half right now, technically. Because this base is actually still up, and he's now mining from his opponent's natural. How do you even get out of this? Like, he has the Draken Cannon in the center, so any attempt to sneak out is going to be very difficult. He still has drones in his opponent's base, and an Overlord to scout. He's building a hatchery in his opponent's base. Oh, he's going for the Spinecrawler cancel. This is a cool move. So what you do is you build a hatchery, you cancel it, which makes a small amount of creep, and then you build a Spinecrawler right on top of it. And then you apparently do it again. Penguin, what the hell? This is wild. So, Lilbo's actually in a lot of trouble. This cannon rush didn't actually do anything as much as it should have, and the counter to it was Penguin says, I'm going to take your natural expansion, and I'm going to build Spinecrawlers in your base. Does this actually root? Because there's technically no creep here, so surely this shouldn't actually work. There's the double cancel. Penguin is playing mind games with his opponent here. This is actually pretty crazy. But the thing is, he's got creep on his opponent's main. It's right there. He's actually got creep that far up. There's no detection. He could get spines up and start to hit the top. And there's not much that Lilbo can currently do about it. Is he going to get a spine down? Or something, a hatchery, anything? No! That's a shame. Alright, well, currently the Zerg player is actually not in a terrible position. He has a queen, but there are 3 zealots coming down. But there's a couple of lings. There's actually not enough to defend this. He'll have to pull drones. He really should build a Spinecrawler, I think. That would be a good idea. He's going to try and get as good a fight as he can and protect his queen here. And he gets the surround, and it's a pretty good one, but he is going to lose a bunch of drones, which he can't really afford to lose right now. Decent enough micro here, saving some of them. He's lost 10 drones already. So this is kind of ugly with the zealots breaking out. If he had 1 spine, it wouldn't have even happened. And 11 drones get killed there. Penguin is still in this. But his opponent is building more gateways, and he's just going to straight off 4 gate off of this on 1 base. More drones coming in. Roachron being built. He needs spines! He really does. Like, he can actually hit the front with a Spinecrawler, because he has vision. I'm so surprised he didn't go for a Spinecrawler. He would have saved so many drones' lives if he had. So, Penguin taking unnecessary damage, at least in my honest opinion. And now there's 3 more zealots coming on. They're going to do exactly the same bloody thing. Spinecrawler! Penguin, spine, or a roach, anything. But honestly, against 4 gateways, this Roach Warren with this economy, I don't think it's going to be good enough. Now, his opponent is not really mined out. Like, he's sitting on 1 base pretty comfortably, and he has a slight economic lead, and he's got 5 zealots now and a sentry against 4 lings and a queen. So, roaches are required now. Not next week, now. There's another... 2 zealots somehow made their way across... I don't even know how they managed. Oh, of course, he's warping in zealots right now into his opponent's base, instead of actually attacking the natural there. And there's no defense here either. He gets the good surround. He's got the queen here, but there's 3 more zealots coming on the way. Oracle coming in as well. He's not spawning any military units from here. He's actually going to have to flee with these drones. He's going to have to go to the relative safety of his opponent's natural. You never heard anyone say that, have you? Spawning pool's going to go down by the looks of it, but I think he's going to have to abandon this hatchery. There really is no chance. There's a decent enough army here starting to build up for Penguin, so any attempt to run down this ramp is probably not going to work out well, but he's not building spines! Which is just annoying me more than it should, really. Because look, he's got creep into his opponent's mineral line, for God's sake. Spine crawlers. Finally now he's going for it. He's attacking. Oh, no, it's a trap. Oh, wow, the sentry blocks them all in. There's going to be no escape here. Penguin goes for that and loses everything. Disastrous play from Penguin. Absolutely not the right thing to do. And unfortunately, it looks like Penguin's clever strategy, while cool, is not going to work now, because his entire army just got absolutely decimated. A Spinecrawler is finally done, but it's not going to be enough now, I'm afraid, by the looks of it. He will try and kite this. He will be able to do a decent amount, but I am very worried for the livelihood of Penguin right here. A zealot goes down, a second zealot will die, but the spine will be killed. The queen is looking to try and support, doesn't get a transfuse off. Didn't actually have the energy. A couple short here. Microing the best he can with the roaches, trying not to get surrounded, but he's stuck in a corner now. Lovely transfuse just before the queen goes down. He will be able to fight this off, but he still has a fundamental disadvantage, and now there's a Void Ray, and there's no defense against that. There's no anti-air. The Void Ray just goes to town here on the mineral line. There's the GG and Team Baguette. Even things up. 2 games apiece after a wild, wild game here on Engines of War. Well, you guys didn't want to see a washout. You're not seeing a washout. I'm actually not really sure what we're seeing right now. This is a little bit silly. But hey, there you go. That was, yeah. That's a clan war. All right, currently 2-2 here in this clan war. The next is going to be a 2v2, just because we didn't want to make everything even crazier than it currently is. Yep, 2v2. Marine Lord Lilbo take on Raynor and Narcotic right after the break here on SHOUTCraft Clan Wars, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our 2v2 map. Oh yes, to the southwest position in the Blue Trunks, playing Protoss, representing Millennium and Team Baguette. He is Lilbo, with his teammate in the Red Trunks playing Terran, Marine Lord, also of Team Millennium. Versus their opponents to the northeast position, in the Purple Trunks playing Zerg, we have Raynor for mYinsanity, and his teammate, Narcotic, playing Terran to the north. This is Ice Realm. This is a little unusual. Of course it is. All of our maps are unusual, but what's most unusual about this map are these gates. These gates will retract, and these gates will go up again. These gates block off various paths on the map. The map essentially changes every few minutes. So it's something to bear in mind if you're playing 2v2, or indeed even 1v1. 2v2, it's probably even more relevant. There's all sorts of horrible things that could happen. You could end up having your reinforcements blocked off because a gate went up. You could end up having your teammates' forces stuck on the wrong side of a gate. It's a bit wild. There are various ways around the gates. As you can see, you can travel all the way around here, all the way around here, all the way around here, and you can actually reach the opponent that way. There are 2 entrances to each base. And as you can see, there are also 3 mineral patches, and the gates just retracted. There we go. They will disappear from the map. You'll see that. It happens every 2 minutes or so. So all the paths for attack are now open, but they will close again within 2 minutes, so that is something to consider. It's the special feature of Ice Realm, which is otherwise a fairly standard map, outside of the fact that you have 3 mineral patches in the main base, so it is a shared base 2v2, and you can expand very, very quickly, and relatively safely as well, although each player is kind of responsible for dealing with their own half. So they'll have to wall off each side. They can't just wall off one side and hope for the best. That's really just not good enough. Marine Lord going with the scout here. Now, Marine Lord and Lilbo are actually a very accomplished 2v2 team, so they know what they're doing. I have not seen Raynor and Narcotic play 2v2, so I'm not exactly 100% familiar with the kind of things they will be doing. But we do have a very early factory with reactor going down for Narcotic, which is scouted immediately by Marine Lord. And he ignores the Terran bro code of not attacking SCVs. So that's an infraction that will have to be dealt with later. He may have to hand in his membership card. And actually, he got very unlucky there with the alignment of the SCVs, which is just a little bit random. If it had gone to a safer place, it wouldn't have been attacked. But it's okay. He saves it. And he continues to build. So it looks like he's going to be going for Hellion pretty early on. And Raynor's going to be taking that expansion very quickly. Their opponents, well, we've got a Stargate coming down here. And from Marine Lord, he's just looking to play a little bit defensively. He's got a bunker down. Looks like he might be going for an expand pretty soon. Might end up taking this 3rd base here, since he's stacking up a lot of resources. And the first Reaper coming in is going to do a little bit of damage. The Marines aren't out yet, so we can expect to see maybe a kill here. Possibly. There are a couple of Marines coming out. There are Lings coming to defend, but they are slow Lings. Forces a cancellation right there. And it looks like that bunker is going to not go up, I'm afraid. The Lings managed to get it. So any attempt to sort of bunker rush and just be a little bit annoying here on the ramp is not going to work out. And Raynor goes for it. Not quite able to pick off that Reaper, and is able to get out. So in the meantime, we're now dealing with Phoenixes. By the way, as you can notice, the gateways are now back up. So the routes back to the opponent's bases are a little bit more convoluted, let's just say. They take a little bit longer. Starport coming up immediately for Narcotic, so it looks like he will be going for a 1-base drop play with Hellion and Marine, which could work, certainly. And Marine Lord is aware of it, though. Like, he scouted most of that. He didn't see the Starport, but he's an accomplished Terran player. The weird thing about this is they never did the swap. You would have expected these guys to swap over, but he actually is going Marine heavy with just a few Hellions. Nothing too crazy. So Marine Lord might get a little bit faked out by this. We'll see. That's another Stargate coming down here for Lilbo. And Lilbo is actually the one that takes the expansion in the base, as opposed to his Terran friend over there. And there is a Phoenix now on the board. That's going to be a little bit of annoying nonsense. Gateway should be coming back up momentarily, I believe. This Overlord looks like it's going to get picked off nice and easily, but here comes the Force. Well, this is a nice little place for Reapers to be, certainly, and there's not really a lot that the team of mYinsanity can do about those Reapers, so he's going to have to move away. This is it's a nice little army coming out here, though. There's some Lings coming in. They're going to try and batter their way through the front. There is actually no defense at the front. A couple of Hellions moving in, but the backup is on its way in the form of Hellions as well as Marines. There's the quick pickup. Both picked up, and both the Hellions almost die there. Nice little roasting there. I don't know if he's going to have to push this. I think he might. There's actually not a lot of defensive firepower here for Team Baguette, and there's a lot of Marines. I think they misread this. They were expecting to see Hellions, and they got a lot of Marines. But good pickups coming in here from Lilbo with 4 or 5 Phoenixes is able to obliterate the attacking force before it's able to blast their way through the ramp. Nice little moves there from Team Baguette. And now Lilbo has huge amounts of control available here. Marine Lord is going full on mech. Going to get 2 more of these. An attempted attack here is probably not going to work. The Lings do get a surround, and they're able to kill a couple of Hellions, but that is all they're going to be able to accomplish, and Marine Lord successfully expands. In the meantime, we have an expansion coming up here from Narcotic. The gateways are now up again, so he doesn't have to worry about too many attacks. He really just has to worry about this ramp here. Everything else is walled off. Everything else is pretty much safe for the time being. So, and these Lings can't actually get out. They try to get out the gate, but that's not going to happen. They're going to have to make their way around the other side. And here comes an attack. We've got a nice little bit of harassment coming in. Takes out a Queen. Looks to get a second one here with this large count of Phoenixes. Transfuse goes off, but it gets the Queen anyway. There's a lot of firepower here. And there was no anti. I'm very surprised not to see at least a Spore Crawler coming down just to ward this off, because that's a lot of Queens. That's 4, 5 Queens now that Lilbo managed to kill with 7 Phoenixes. Did he have the lift for another? He lifts a couple of Marines instead and kills them off. He's doing a lot of damage here. And with only 2 Queens now for 3 Zerg bases, that's going to be a lot of denied nonsense. Attempted drop comes in. Narcotic does a little bit of damage. Ling run by on this base is deflected quite handily by Marine Lord's Hellions. Not too much to worry about there. Some damage has been done, though. The drop did a bit. It was actually quite damaging. It was able to kill 7 probes. Not too shabby. These Lings are all dead, though. Oh, Raynor runs right into that. Takes a lot of damage. Huge number of Hellions coming in. And he's building 5 at a time, plus Infernal Pre-Igniter. What on earth do you do against that? Well, you probably don't build Marines and Lings, I'll tell you that for a fact. And lovely pickups here by Lilbo, who's just basically denying the army of his opponents. He's going to get... There's a tank right there! He's going to get the tank if he has the energy for it. The Queen's come in to try and ward this away, but there's 11 Phoenix on the board, and he's literally doing nothing but buying Phoenixes. And up goes the tank, down goes the tank, and Marine Lord with a run-by right into the base, and is going to do a lot of damage here. These Lings... They're going to be able to fight against something that doesn't have a Infernal Pre-Igniter, but the position is really nice here for Marine Lord. He's able to deflect them quite nicely. Oh, he's lining them up. Unbelievably brutal. I can't believe Raynor did that. Oh, the whole mineral line is gone. Just horrible. Team Baguette looking really strong in this 2v2. And the economy is decimated here for Raynor. It's not looking good at all. He's down to 24 workers, and he's got yet more coming in. Yeah, there are Marines, but there's not enough. There's nowhere near enough anti-air to deal with 15 Phoenixes, and this is all he's going to do. And now he's going to transition to Void Rays. He's going full on Sky Toss, and there is nowhere near enough answer. Spore Crawlers are now finally coming up. Missile Turrets finally coming up. It's far too late, I think, at this point. I mean, hell... These Hellions alone are perhaps enough to destroy what's left of the army here, because there's so little. There's a couple of siege tanks, but here comes another run-by, and Raynor's base looking very exposed. Blue Flame Hellions this time around. In come the Queens, but in come 5,000 Phoenixes. They all get lifted in the air. All the Queens are going to die now, and some of the Hellions do get picked off, but not without cost. Another 10 drones are destroyed. An attempted run-by gets a few Hellions here and there, but these are Blue Flame. A lot of damage will be done, and in fact, the run-by will be deflected once again. And I have to wonder what the Terran player can even do. I mean, he's losing siege tanks. They're getting lifted up all over the place. He doesn't have the anti-air. He doesn't have the missile turrets down. He finally has one at the front to try and deflect this, but there's so little here for Team mYinsanity. And Marine Lord and Lilbo are looking really strong right now. And looks like mYinsanity took some economic damage as well, and that's not looking good. Raynor is basically dead. He just hasn't got the units. He's still building Lings against Blue Flame Hellions, which just doesn't work. And now there's Void Rays on the way. As it stands, we have Narcotic attempting to build a sizable enough Marine force, but every time he tries to build Marines, they get picked off. That's the brutal thing about this tactic. He never is able to get that critical mass to deflect these Phoenixes. Everything just dies as soon as it comes in. Here's the run by. No mining for you, he says. More liftoffs here with this 15 Phoenix Force. Looking for Anion Pulse Crystals as well. That's GG. And Team Baguette goes up 3-2 in the series. We might see an ace, but Baguette might be able to close it out with the next match, as Marine Lord will be taking the field. It's entirely possible. That was rough. That was some well-executed 2v2 there from Team Baguette. Nothing to mock about that whatsoever. And that Phoenix Hellion strategy worked perfectly. Raynor and Narcotic were not able to adapt fast enough, and that is that. There we go. Game 6 will be on its way very shortly, folks. We're going to be seeing, I believe, Raynor take on Marine Lord. So if you don't like PvZ, we finally actually get a Terran versus Zerg. So I'm sure some people are going to enjoy that. I'm going to switch over our interface, and we'll be right back with the next game here on SHOUTCraft Clan Wars as Team Baguette leads 3-2 in this best-of-7 Pro League format. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ORICHALCUM, and it's my pleasure to bring you Marine Lord, who you just saw a little bit earlier. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Terran to the northwest of ORICHALCUM versus his opponent to the southeast position, replacing Kane, who unfortunately could not make it today. In the red trunks playing Zerg, it is mYinsanity's Raynor. Well, you got a bit of a whipping in the 2v2. I've got to say, though, Lil Bo and Marine Lord are pretty well known for being rather good at that matchup. It's, early. I was going to say, he's not going to scout right now, is he? That would be insane. No, he's just going to go for the fairly standard wall-off. Speaking of fairly standard, ORICHALCUM is not exactly a wild map. It's definitely not one of the craziest maps in the pool. It's actually one of the most standard in the pool right now. It doesn't really have any particularly special features, just a nicely designed map. Thirds can be quite difficult to take, as you probably noticed. You can kind of go down to the bottom here, or you can try and take this sort of tucked away third, which can actually be walled off, so it's not too bad. It's a fairly defensible area if you can actually wall it off, but this one is a lot closer, but it's a bit more open. There's also siege possibilities at the bottom. You'll notice the back ramp here, very nasty. You got to watch out for that, because that is a very obvious harass position. That's the kind of thing you could run by. If you want to wall off this area, well, it's going to be a bit tricky, but this natural is kind of open because of this back ramp, so you've got to be very careful and watch out for that. We've got a spawning pool first coming out here from Raynor quite early on. This will be a 14 pool, I think, actually. And Barracks is on its way as well, so the Barracks is going to finish before the pool, which is, of course, to be expected. But he wants to get the pool out a little bit early. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Raynor now looking to expand, of course. He's not going to stick on one base. And then the wall-off's going to be complete. I don't think there's going to be any attempt to rush anything here. That doesn't seem likely. It's just very standard openings, but instead of going hatch first, it's kind of a small map, so I can understand why you go pool first. You do need to be ready to deal with the Reaper, for instance. Get some units out, get a queen out. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a very unpleasant position. And with the SCV moving across as well, he may attempt to bunker. We have seen that happen before. That can provide a position which is very difficult to dislodge. He might attempt to bunker the natural. If he goes for the main, it will be interesting. It's probably not going to happen. The Lings are already here, so Marine Lord doesn't actually get the scouting information he wants. He's a little bit denied, but he can make some assumptions. Based on the timing of this hatchery, he can assume that it was a pool on 14 or 15, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about what his opponent's got going on right now. He is going to bring the Reaper on just in case, and that's going to be a little bit annoying, so a couple of Lings are going to die to this Reaper because of the speed disadvantage until speed begins. Gas has been taken, but he's not mining it, which is a little bit interesting. Now he's mining it. Okay. Well, he's delaying it for some reason. It's like, why would he build an extractor and not mine from it? That's crazy. Crazy talk, I say. Oh, there you go. A couple of Lings moving across the map. So this is actually going to be a bit of a problem here for Marine Lord, because Marine Lord got super greedy and went right into Reactor, and there's now Lings moving. He's going after the Reaper. I would like to see him go after the SCV building that command center on the low ground. That would be really, really nice. But that Reaper's actually going to have a field day, and it looks like Marine Lord is going to be able to ward off Reyna's attacks quite easily. Since that single Reaper is doing great work here. He's got 4 kills with it. He's going to get 5 by the looks of it. I think he should be able to kill all of these units. Not getting speed is proving to be Raynor's downfall, and that is 6 Lings killed by that Reaper and a perfect defense of a low ground CC. So Marine Lord's greed kind of pays off here, and he's now going to be able to surge out units. There's a couple more Lings coming out. And speed is now on its way, but this is a good position for the Terran to be in right now. He gets his CC down at a really good time. He's going to... Oh, whoa! Hellbat push coming out right here. That's an armory very, very early. So unless you want to see the earliest Thor in history, which is not going to be the case, you are going to be seeing what looks to be a Hellbat push. So he's going to build some Hellions. He's going to go for Hellbats and go for a push for the kill. Now, Raynor still sticking on 2 bases can defend against this, but bear in mind he hasn't had the chance to scout it yet. He may have seen that barracks floating, which might give him a bit of a clue. Should indicate that his opponent is going for factory tech, but he needs to be ready. In order to repulse this, he's probably going to need roaches, and he's probably going to need spine crawlers. Lings can do it, but you've got to have a lot of them, and you've got to get a great fight. If you don't get a great fight on creep, you are in a lot of trouble. He's building yet more Lings. He might be able to catch this before this becomes a problem. I mean, there are only 2 Hellions, and speed is about to be finished. But if Raynor turns around and engages the Hellions before speed is done, I can't see good things happening for him. The Lings need to get out of the way, because Marine Lord could reap a terrible toll here. It looks like he's actually going to go for a run-by, which is a sensible idea, because this back ramp is vulnerable. He's going to be able to make his way right into the mineral line and do a little bit of damage here. Another Overlord picked up. Very, very nice here by Marine Lord, who was forced back. So far, Marine Lord hasn't actually lost anything. And looks like he's going to lose very little. Great control. Oh my god, Marine Lord, what the hell? He loses nothing. Absolutely nothing to that run-by. Really nice moves. Great control here by Marine Lord. Another Ling run-by is coming in, but I don't know if it's going to do the job. Oh, a massive hit by Marine Lord. Absolutely, those Lings were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and this is disastrous. If this becomes a Hellbat push now, all the defense is gone. He doesn't have a spine. He doesn't have roaches. He's got no tech. He doesn't even have any extra queens. This is a perfect opportunity for Marine Lord to close this series out here for Team Baguette. There's nothing on the board. Raynor is not looking in anywhere near good enough shape to deflect this. And he hasn't expected a Hellbat push. Here comes 7 Hellions that are going to turn to Hellbats and kill everything that Raynor has. Absolutely everything. He sees them transform, but what's he going to do? What's he going to do when they come for you? Absolutely nothing. Not a damn thing. He's got no defense against this whatsoever. Lings are popping out. It's not going to be enough. The Hellbats roast them all. Has Marine Lord even lost a unit in this game? That was probably the first unit he lost. And the push continues. The queens are going to die. He hasn't done too much damage to the mineral line yet. The remaining Lings popping out might be able to finish this push off. So this push hasn't killed Raynor yet. And good surround takes out another. Might get another one. The queen's doing great here. Cleans up the Hellbat push and actually saves all of his workers. This is a comedy of errors. Lovely surround there by Raynor. Picks off the reinforcing Hellion. And that attack fails. But there is now a Banshee coming in. There are only 2 queens, but there's 3 more being built. He's building a huge amount of extra queens, which is absolutely the right thing to do right now. He now sees the Banshee, so he's like, oh, queens, great. I'm in an awesome position. No cloak researched here. So this is actually looking way better for Raynor than I expected. His drone count is still really low, though. That's what I'm worried about. He's overdoing it maybe on the defense. He's getting 4 Spore Crawlers. Lovely pick-off for the Hellbat right there. Should be able to kite that, no problem at all. And these Banshees shouldn't really be able to do much. So we have a failed Hellbat push, a failed Ling run-by, and suddenly this game is kind of evened out a little bit, whereas Raynor should have really been dead from that push. But the fact of the matter is, the queens kited really well. The reinforcements got surrounds where they needed to. And Raynor was able to hold it off just long enough to finish things off, and the queens did a great job of fending it away. Usually a push like that would get into the mineral line and do terrible damage, but that didn't actually happen this time. Now Marine Lord is looking to do damage with these Banshees, and there is a queen and a Spore Crawler available, so Raynor's got lovely defense against this. This back area is great for harass, though, and I think he's going to be able to pick off a few drones. He's not going to take too much damage here. He'll also be able to alternate between the 3rd and the natural, which makes this play very effective here. What I would like to see a Spore Crawler down here, for instance. That would be great. Nice transfuse. And he doesn't get it. Lovely moves here by Raynor. And another transfuse. And he gets the Banshee. Very nice play by Raynor. Excellent. But he is going to lose that queen. He might lose the second one if he's not careful. So a few drones will die here. We saw pneumaticized carapace researched here. I wonder if he's going to use it for drops. He might, or it may just be for quicker Overlord positioning. Some damage being done, but these Banshees haven't actually really paved themselves. Another Queen comes down, and this Banshee will be warded away. Only 1 Queen and 3 drones killed. That's not great. And so far, the Zerg player is keeping up with the Terran, but the second wave is coming in. We're seeing full-on mech play here from Marine Lord. Additional factories being added on. Infernal Pre-Igniter as well, looking for a run-by on the third. That third is very badly exposed. This is going to do some damage, certainly. Will Reyno be able to get the surround? Does he even have the numbers? He doesn't. I mean, that's 9 Hellbats. He doesn't have enough Lings. His Roach Warren is not done yet. He does have that Spine Crawler. That will help, but all the Lings just died immediately. So that third base is going to have to be abandoned. The second follow-up Hellbat push is looking to be very, very dangerous. Much, much worse than the last one. He does have 3 Queens, but there's Banshee support. This is... it's looking dicey here for Reyno now. He loses a... No, he doesn't lose a Queen. Again, great control. No, another Transfuse goes off. He gets himself into a defensive position. Both Banshees go down. Can he kill 33? Oh, my God. The economic damage is just devastating. Marine Lord, 34 drones killed. While Reyno might have warded off the first one, the second Hellbat push, that was not going to happen. Blue Flame Hellbats now roast the remaining Roaches. Reyno stayed on Ling Tech for far too long. He should have upgraded to Roaches much, much faster if he wanted a chance. And he will be able to ward this back now, but the economic damage is huge. Can he actually attack... he's against the Thor and 17 Hellions. By the time he gets over there, there's going to be a tank. There's going to be Banshees. I don't think that's going to happen. He's able to block off an expansion there. Very nice little move, but this Hellion run-by coming in to roast what remains of these units. The Roaches are on the way, but I think there's going to be too much from the Terran player. I don't think Reyno's going to be able to make this work at all. He just doesn't have the numbers. He lost too much in terms of his economy. The income disparity is massive between these players. There's the morph to Hellbats, and yes, the Roaches are going to do reasonably well against the Hellbats, but we've got SCVs coming off the line as well. There's a Thor at the back, which is just blowing up Roach after Roach after Roach, and this looks like it's going to be Baguette's series. It is! Team Baguette takes it 4 games to 2 on Game 6 here on ORICHALCUM with Marine Lord putting it away. So congratulations to Team Baguette, who have been doing very well, actually, in team leagues. They've been playing the SC2 Improved League. I believe they're second in the division, if I recall correctly, after Axiom. They're doing really, really well. Good team. And great clan war. So congratulations to Team Baguette that walk away with the lion's share of the $500 prize pool today. And, of course, our losers don't walk away empty-handed. They do get $100. A big thanks to MLG.TV for sponsoring the $5,000 a month prize pool. And congratulations again to Team Baguette. Really great win there. Right, when's the next one, you might ask? Are there more Clan Wars coming? Yes, we have 5 more this month for you. And we're going to be taking basically a week's break because it's going to be, well, there's a lot of tournaments going on and all sorts of things that I need to worry about. So after that is all done, do not worry. We have more Clan Wars on the way. The next Clan War to air will be on the 17th, which is in a week's time. Startail versus Root Gaming, followed the next day by EG versus Team Ascension, followed the next day by Axiom versus Startail. So we actually have a triple bill over the weekend. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, we have a Clash of the Titans, MVP versus Yo Flash Wolves on the 23rd. All of the information can be found on the schedule here for MLG TV, as well as in the thread. And I would recommend that if you don't want to miss a Clan War, you can click the follow button on MLG TV, and what it's going to do is it's going to alert you every time Clan Wars goes live. And do remember, if you missed anything today, you will be able to watch the rebroadcast, which is going to be starting about 5 minutes after the show, or if you don't want to watch that, you'll be able to watch the spoiler-free VoDs over on youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. That is youtube.com/TotalBiscuit. The video will be up tomorrow. Big thanks again for supporting Clan Wars. Absolutely fantastic series. Very much appreciate you guys showing up and taking part in what will hopefully be a very successful month for the show. Do remember to click follow, as I said before, on MLG.TV. You will be able to get notifications for all of the upcoming Clan Wars. And remember to check the schedule over on Team Liquid. My name's been TotalBiscuit. Big thanks again to our teams, Team Baguette, and of course the one and only mYinsanity for playing today. And we'll see you next time.